Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Space Wizard Total War. Welcome on into a brand new campaign. This time we'll be trying out the SFO Grimhammer mod, which is going to be reworking the campaign mechanics for all of the factions, battles, units. It's pretty much just a full overhaul of the main game, and I can't wait to dive on in. Uploads for this series are going to be every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And then for our settings for this campaign, we shall be having the difficulty set to very hard for campaign difficulty, which SFO is kind enough to actually outline the exact changes you'll be getting for the setting you choose, which is honestly incredibly small but an amazing improvement. And then we'll be using hard for battles. Our enemy forces are going to be having 15% more weapon damage and 15% more charge bonus with a 20% increase to their reload time reduction, which is just how fast they're going to be firing. If you put this up to hard, it actually doubles both of those. And if you've ever fought any of the Dark Elves or High Elf factions, them with 40% faster fire rate is beyond a nightmare. So we are going to keep it on hard for now with a very hard campaign. And then on the end game, we'll have the ultimate crisis mode activated, which means all of the scenarios are going to trigger simultaneously there. And then we will have 175% increase to the end game difficulty. So we shall see if Chaos can weather the storm of, well, I guess everyone else. Back on over to our faction effects for the Heralds of the Tempest. We are going to have a maximum active gift +1 for Gifts of Chaos undivided. We will have Dark Fortress settlement buildings granting additional Dragon Ogre Warband recruitment capacity. 4 grand recruitment is going to be 100% more replenishing for the Dragon Ogre, so they will show up much more often. We'll have Empowered by Worship Kholek gains 5% weapon strength, mass, and armor for each currently vassalized faction. So rather than destroy everyone we meet, we are going to want to try to vassalize everyone we can so Kholek becomes a big chunky boy. Lastly, Dark Fortresses are going to be able to call for Beastman Hordes, which is going to be very interesting. We'll have to see that once we get on in. And for the big boys Lord effects, we are going to have a reduction in souls cost of 20% for the Carnage Incarnate Gift of Chaos, which is going to be the one that allows you to summon in a single Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. Our upkeep is also going to be reduced by 20% for Dragon Ogres and their big Dragon Ogre Shaggoth variants for his army. We're going to have an increase of 10% to our missile resistance for all Chaos Monstrous Infantry and Monster units. And then the Summoners of Rage are going to serve Kholek for free. He's going to show up over here in the mountains, which is fitting for the Mountain God. We're going to be dueling it out with Grimgor for control of the mountains. And for his lore, we have Kholek Suneater is a Shaggoth of tremendous age. He is one of the firstborn kin of Krakenrock the Black, father of the Dragon Ogres. Kholek was present when the terrible pact of the Dark Gods was forged, pledging their race to an eternity of servitude in exchange for immortality. The sagas tell that Kholek's part in the bargain was such an affront to nature that the sun hid its face behind a bank of storm clouds, and has never looked upon Kholek since that fateful day. True enough, Kholek's coming is heralded by rolling black thunderheads. Where the Herald of the Tempest walks, a raging storm blots out the sun. And so it should be.
To the ordinary, we are unknowable, fallen, corrupted, rightly feared. We are ascended. Bow before the Mountain God.
That was a lot of conviction you mustered there, buddy. That's how they play. Collect the souls of mortal factions throughout your campaign to sacrifice to the Dark Gods in return for faction-wide boons granted by the Gifts of Chaos. We shall see that over in the Gifts area once we do control our first settlement. We erect Dark Fortresses across the north and vassalize the local tribes as you conquer the Norscan homeland capitals and establish your centers of power. Anytime we just need to beat up Norskins and claim their homes. We instantly muster warband units into our armies from our lord's localities to quickly build our military might. All of our recruiting is going to be easy to collect in the warband recruitment area. Everything is now in the way. Oh no. I can't do it. There we go. So we can just immediately recruit guys on in our warband recruitment. As long as they are in their pool, we can just slot them right onto the army. So we're going to grab those warhounds immediately, as well as another unit of marauders, because I see no reason not to bolster our forces. We'll recruit them in immediately. So that favor is immediately deducted from the treasury, and they are in the army. And then we will later on be able to upgrade said units So any of our undivided units or any units who are actually able to upgrade, once they are a certain level, will be able to spend some gold, and they, I believe, lose all of their experience, drop down to base, and then start leveling up again as their newly formed regiments. Lastly, we ascend characters through paths to glory to devote them to specific gods and progress lords towards eventual demonhood. This isn't so much, I think it's the case with Kholek. Once you do level up, usually on their, whatever their unique line is, at the very end of it, you become demonic. With the units that are just kind of generic lords and heroes, you will have the path to glory, which will allow them to be marked by certain gods for souls, and then they're able to unlock certain extra abilities through completing certain challenges. So ranking up in Channeling Stance would give them Guinness of Golden Hounds, Bound Spell, just one use, which sounds good to me. Mage Hunter, we just have to win against an army led by a spellcaster, and we gain Eldritch Aura. That sort of thing. And all of the generic heroes and lords will have the same kind of thing going on. Quite nice. Let's grab Chant, who actually we didn't take a look at his first trait here. We got one with Iron Skin, so he's going to be armored and have a bit more mass, which actually sounds just about on par for someone rolling with Kholek. Gonna talk some smack, we'll pull him into Kholek's army. We might as well swing on into our technology here. We have to start in the center since we are a undivided faction. Any of the ones that are in the new Chaos Champions DLC that came out, they usually start at one of the 4. And the tree looks a bit different than this. So we'll start with Scrutiny of the Dark Gods, take 8 turns there. At the end, we'll have more experience for all of our Marauders. Now we send Kholek and our Hounds of Decay, Chaos Warhounds, Dragon Ogres, Trolls, and Marauders, and bring them to bear against Zok. And the size discrepancy here for the Ogres is pretty intense. The army discrepancy also is pretty unfortunate for the Flesh Greeters as well. Let's take a quick look at our terrain, even though it matters 0. Let's kill some poor ogres. Alright, quick cut. We lost the battle. Or not. No, my microphone fell off the mount, and that was of no use to the recording because I didn't want to make your ears bleed. Let's start the deployment. No reason to channel magic and waste our lads' abilities here. Let's take a look at our units, though. Our lovely Chaos Marauders. The color on the Herald of the Tempest is quite nice. I think we will be content with what we're rolling with here. These guys are very verbose for Norskins. Got our Chaos Trolls. That one was having a bit of a texture issue there, but he's all good now. Itchy scratchy boys. The lovely Dragon Ogres, we are on the... Well, I'll take a look at our settings just here in a moment. The graphic settings, that is. Dragon Ogres looking awesome. I wouldn't want to meet them in a dark alley or anywhere else. We have ourselves the Hounds of Decay, which I believe are replacing the Poison Hounds. If the Poison Hounds are still in the game, we'll find out soon, but these have several increased abilities, are much larger, have quite a bit more melee stats. I'll also take a look at those in a moment as well. And for Kholek himself, who is just a monstrous individual. The biggest of big boys. Forcing with lightning. I mean, I'm sure his hide is thick enough that most blades can't get through, but he's also armored, just in case that's not enough. Wielding a mace that is twice the size of our mage. Also, styling out. Wherever Kholek gets his dye from for his armies, it is looking good. Let's get this thing going then. We've got our cheap and cheerful Marauders. We'll just drag them on out. And then I'll just grab these two. Hit over on the D-pad once, just so they're spread out a little bit there. Group all of our infantry together. Grab our Hounds of Decay. I think I'm going to throw them off to one side. And let the other Hounds roll on the other side there. We're basically just going to use them to kind of screen out that saber tusk pack, rather. The hounds are going to work together to bring them down. Grab the trolls and the ogres together. I think I want the dragon ogres to be back a little bit. And I want the trolls with their regeneration and all of their extra physical resistance to be holding the line. Both over. These will impact first, then the dragon ogres. They can pull up stats over here. The chaos trolls have a couple extra stats from the base game. They've got the stupidity buff, which is going to be enabled if their hit points drop below 50%. They are big dumb. And they've got a bit of an extra metabolism, so they've got a heal per second, and they have physical resistance plus 20%. Oh, I mean, they are even better than normal, I would say. And our dragon ogres. They've got that bonus versus large, which we are going to be using to great extent against these ogre bulls. Listen, Hounds of Decay, you're ruining the show. They've got 10% more ward save. They are vigorous, so as long as they are out of melee, they are going to be regenerating vigor per second of 1%, which is going to be amazing, making sure they are never really tired. And then they're going to be wall breakers, as you'd expect. Where's my Hounds of Decay? These guys actually have a lethal poison, which is going to be doing... Well, I mean, it's not wanting to stay up for us, unfortunately, there, but has a lethal poison, giving a damage per second, and also dropping melee stats of anyone they are going to kind of come in contact with. They've also got the Swarm of Flies, which in SFO is going to actually damage the area around them and drop melee attack. They do, on top of everything else, also regenerate, so these hounds are incredible. I'm going to want a bunch of them for a Nurglish themed army. Hounds of Decay. Alright, so let's grab the Herald himself. I don't mind him staying behind, letting our Marauders die a bit. We'll have Chant back behind as well. He's still sending his leadership buff to everyone around there. Kind of taking a look at this big circle. That's their leadership aura. Then we'll grab the Burma trolls that haven't been given an order. There they are. Want them inside, the ogres on the outside. All the way lined up, so they will surround enemies. That works for me. These guys together. Our two flanking forces will be as one, the two Lord and Hero. Let's get this battle started. We'll just grab everyone and send them forward. If you want to send them in a little, slow it down, and I will kind of let you all know what I'm doing. Those who already know, great. But for those who don't, if you have everyone selected and you hold Alt, you are able to drag them in formation. If you hold Control while Alt is also being held, you can rotate that formation then to wherever you want it. For now, we're going to stick it with what we were and leave it like that. If you are still holding Alt while you release, they will then walk to formation instead of running, if you want to get micromanaging about it. I guess we can take a look at some of the lads as they slow-mo run on in. Kholek, just because he is the size of a mountain himself, moving way out in front of everyone else. We're going to probably have the trolls walking a bit. But it looks like they are trying to take a bit more of a defensive formation, especially since they're down to, what, 4 units total? A wee bit unfortunate. Alright, so let's grab this unit. We'll lock them, which will have them fight in formation and just charge them in. Have these two hit this unit of ogre bulls there. Kholek, go fight their... actually, we'll have him come to us. You go fight the bulls up front. And you two go smash into this poor group of Noblars. Actually, I take it back. You guys hunt down the Sabertooth Pack. Or Sabertusk Pack. We'll kind of work together on it like that. Kholek is charging on in. We'll have these Warhounds moving on around the outside. Trying to keep the Sabertusks off anyone important. So you have the big lads fight against Dragon Ogres. Dragon Ogres are immortal and can only actually die in combat. They're going to be fighting extra hard here. While the trolls just kind of Ralph all over everyone. Rude. Looks like we're doing more damage to our own lads with those maces than the enemy. The Tyrant is charging on in on the other side here. Probably not going to be a bad or a good time for him. no matter what. Get some extra help on those saber tusks. Big boy himself destroys. Just kind of bumps them with the hammer instead of giving them the full smash. Interestingly enough, it looked like it blew up our own dudes. We'll swing up on out of here. I haven't used our mage at all. Magician. Use fireball. Away. He has to get way closer because he was back in the back doing nothing. As chaos armies, I do tend to forget about my mages quite a bit. And I just let the big boys beat the brakes off of stuff. Nice. Good work. And we do actually have an ice storm kind of thing going on right now. If you hear any kind of nonsense in the background, I'm going to do my best to kind of screen it out, but that's what's going on. Let's have these chaos trolls turn around since they do regenerate. They can bully the tyrant here. Get in there and give him a hug. Tyrant's got to pay the troll toll somewhere. Another, let's bring these ogres around. Have them bring down these ogre bulls here. Oh, actually, Kholek's over there. That's a foolish move. Should have had them keep chasing. Just to get as many captives as we can. Actually, the trolls are starting to pay the troll toll. Throw another fireball at them when we can. And then bring all of these friends over and give our good ogre tyrant here a hug. You pull on away so you can regenerate, not lose any models. I say that as one gets crumped. Sorry, buddy. Tried my best. The rest of you should regenerate just fine. Kholek, someone's bullying your friends. Pull these warhounds away. They would just die. They would do nothing good. Alright, they charged in. Let's pull them back so they don't take too much damage. Keep these marauders back. Only the people who should be dealing damage to him should be in there. Pull them back just so they're getting their damage over time around them. Everyone's got an Achilles. Oh, he's gonna yell at him. That's the way. And this first group of ogres has been crumped. We are going to chase down any survivors for sacrificing, and I will see you all on the map.
Chaos Marauders!
And Big Angry beats Big Dumb. I'm so glad you can't hear that. It sounds like it's not the normal version of snow. We've got angry snow going on right now. The sleet is just blasting against the window. Sandblaster. Alright, we only lost 11 of our own. They were sacrificed gladly. We gained 91 souls from the victory, and I think we'll sacrifice these captives to get a few more. The other options are great and all, but more souls for the soul pit. We're up to 4,900 to our favor. Let's swing on in here to the challenge stone now. Nothing else to do but to slaughter more, and let's hire more friends. Nope, is the answer. Kholek, you know what to do. Ooh, a few more ogres. But they've got no tyrant this time. So they're going to have no extra leadership. Obviously, it's going to be a smashing, but that's what we're here for. Alright then. Again, we start the deployment. Kind of already got us set up in a stance that I'm happy with, so we'll grab our poison hounds. Get them off on one side here, the hounds of Bubonicus. Bring the other hounds forward, and then everyone else can be moved up a bit more than they currently are. Besides that, battle looks good. Let's get it going. See if we can actually remember to use our mage this time. Drag everyone forward. We'll immediately start things off by throwing a fireball at, I guess, their leaders, these Noblars. No. You wish to lead. We can deal with that. You guys go hunt down Noblar groups. You can't really fight anyone else.
The Shaggoth attacks.
Alright, let's have you guys. Trolls moving in and crump these bulls. Gotta rotate back just a bit there so you're not getting overwhelmed. Fireball going out. Get these warhounds moving up just to stress people out. Not charge right into combat. That'd be a mistake, I believe. Kholek is in. Mage should be about to throw a fireball. Let's launch it at the same unit we currently are. Battle begin. Get these warhounds moving in now. In fact, we'll grab one of them and have them come through and charge into the back of this group so we kill them even faster. Our mage has already thrown his fireball, so let's come and jump into combat then. It's going to be over pretty quick, so let's actually enjoy the carnage a bit. I have toned back the blood a bit than previous playthroughs, not by a whole lot there, because this kind of is known for its gratuitous violence, so kind of what we're here for. Who's fighting ogres? Let's give him a hound bite to deal with as well. Just a small dose of rabies. Man turned his back to a bunch of Noblars and is getting poked for it. Those ogre bulls are going to do some damage to our normal marauders. Noblars are running. You go ahead and deal with these bulls instead of fighting Noblars, you big knob. Over here on the other end, the Hounds of Decay and Dragon Ogre combo is pretty nasty. Melee attack is dropped, and they're going to get damage over time as well. Several of the enemy is already running. Can we do any more spells? Not yet. Bring things up at a normal speed. Smash. Basically cut that ogre in half with a single chop. And that's the victory. The town falls. We actually gain no extra captives for hunting this group down, so we'll just quickly end this battle here. And a decisive victory as you need to back away from the camera just a little bit there, buddy. Looks like the lion's share of the kills is actually going to our Hounds of Decay, and I actually think these guys are going to gain a ton of kills, even more as we get into fighting more armies that are filled with units more like the Noblars and are just full of chaff. They are going to rack up kills in abundance. We lost 8 units in that siege there. Siege, quote unquote. We could sack the settlement and gain a bit of captives, but then we gain no souls if we were to then sack and then occupy and vassalize. So we'll do this first, gain the souls. The challenge stone belongs to us, and since we... Norse Berserker. Awesome. More casualties and more movement range. And then the Summoners of Rage have been unlocked. Here's the challenge stone. Since it is a dark fortress for the Champions of Chaos, if you has this kind of symbol here with the spiky, undivided symbol all around it, that would mean that this is the Norskin Vassals settlement. So if you claim this, it means we get the Dolgan as a vassal immediately. Any settlement that the Dolgan has is basically an allied. These guys can drag us into wars now, which they probably will appear with these nonsensicals. You guys already at war with anyone? Not yet.
Enter then.
They are with the flesh creatures because we are.
A fist fight or both?
I am here for you to give me all of your goods. And your souls.
Accepted.
Fair enough. Seemed like it was an easy ask to me too. Exit on out of here. We'll let them build the outpost in our settlement. This mountain is fully in our way.
The mountains call.
Have challenge stone buildings. Before I take a look at those buildings too much here, let's swing on into Kholek. And then we can see about spending some of these skills. So he has some new ones being Storm, increasing the upkeep for his army, but giving him 10% more hit points, which is going to be pretty good. I would say we're going to go for that a bit later on. We can also drop the melee attack of everyone in his army to give him more weapon strength by a huge margin, up to 100%. And then God of the Mountains also dropping melee defense for an increase to 45% to his physical resistance. So some trade-offs there for sure. I'm not sure if we want to take that one to its zenith, just because -12 to the melee attack is going to be hurting his lads quite a bit. It turns Kholek into an absolute raid boss, which is possibly what we want to do anyway. We will have to see. I guess we should actually probably go in there and spin the points then, huh? We could go for Hearts of Iron, but actually most of our important units regenerate their own vigor. So what we will do is grab Route Marcher for now so we can move a little bit further. Route Marcher always first, Dominating Presence second, just for the unit experience gain per turn, since we are a Chaos faction, we want to be upgrading our units as much as we can. And then we'll start working on our raid boss.
The gods smile.
We can grab some gifted units or the Regiment Renown. Summoners of Rage are extremely expensive, but they would be free afterwards. I think what we're going to do, though, is come into the Challenge Stone and build up the 2 buildings we would start with. So the Raid Trophy is giving us a bit of favor, and then more income from post-battle loot. They definitely toned that back. I think it was up to like 40% more from post-battle loot per. That's a little bit more in line. We'll definitely throw in the Corpse Mound and the other, but let's take a look at some of these other War Shrines here. A War Shrine of Dark Favor gives you control, Undivided Corruption, and Ward Save. And you can only have 1 of these. Fire Clearing. This is going to be the one that's unique to Kholek. Gives us Call of the Herds 1. And more uses. Oh, up to a Cygor. Just a random summon of a Cygor, a Cursed Labyrinth. Awesome. It does cost gold per turn, but every single army gets to summon in a random artillery unit, so seems pretty good to me. We won't go for any of these shrines just now. I think we are going to prioritize the other. Moved range from the tribal garrison. Will allow us to recruit just marauders, though. Fighter's Lodge I would rather over that, just for the ability to recruit in straight warriors. Look, Kholek's army is probably going to be mostly monsters. So we go in and grab the raid trophies then for a little bit of extra gold. We will be down to no monies for the end of the turn here. I actually think we're going to leave the Hell Cannon off for now. What? Why? Well, because we can't keep up with the rest of our army at all. And we want him sitting there and ready to use whatever we want instead of having to pay for it. We can start off with our first commandment here. So Foster Cults gives a drop to upkeep. Is that just in the area? Or is this faction-wide? I'll have to take a look at that one. Faction-wide upkeep drop would be nice. Less control, but more movement range, warband recruitment, and less construction cost. It's movement for the enemy. This is the defensive one. And then the one that drops the plague. Oh, that's a tough call. I actually think we'll probably go for Undivided Corruption's almost at max. Construction cost reduction really wouldn't help us that much yet. Really tough call, isn't it? Let's go for Exploitation of Vassals, he says. Questioningly. Yeah, that's all we'll go for. And then also gone into the Gifts of Chaos. We have 1,000 souls to work with, or 1,800 of them total. Fury of Chaos giving us Furies every 3 turns. Ruda's Bulwark giving us Shatterstone. We honestly have plenty of ability to break through enemy walls and gates, but additional missile resistance sounds nice. And then more replenishment rate and melee attack for Marauders. Yeah, I think we go for the Ruinous Bulwark here to give our troops more missile resistance, and this Shatterstone is just going to let us blow the walls open before we even get there. Extra defensive supplies just lets us build more stuff. So Ruinous Bulwark it is. Spend those souls. We have to wait before receiving more gifts from this god. The god of all of them? Fair enough, I guess. And there goes our first... Oh, before we end the turn, let's take a look at our diplomacy just real quick. Can we extort anyone else? Zetus Sons, I would rather beat you up. I can't lie. Would you like to become our vassals already?
The boss.
Hey. Fair enough. Oh, hang on now. What's Kholek's melee increase to after we have vassalized our first? 630. It begins. And turn 2, the SFO mod menu. So this is the one that allows us to modify our individual factions. We're going to pretty much leave everything as is, but thank you. And for our turn 2, who do we strike out against next? Looks like the ogres are here over here at the Valerie. Our allies are in the north. We can hopefully allow them to kind of hang on to that up there for now. I think Archaon is pretty close by, and so is the Demon Prince. We'll want to definitely keep an eye on the north, and there is a Dark Settlement up here. But that will not actually vassalize the Cool. We'll want to keep that in mind.
The spoilers come.
You know what? I understand why it wants us to have the non-aggression pact with them, but if they attack, we'll just turn around and deal with that anyway, so... Not terribly concerned. Let's go to the edge of our borders here. Wait before growth kicks on in. It's going to be a bit. Warband recruitment, we have some more Marauders. I think we won't recruit them in, but we will grab our Summoners of Rage since they're free. Free upkeep at the very least. Rank 9. These guys are going to be incredible. Do they have anything extra going on for them than normal? Calling upon violent storms, these monsters manifest their anger in terrifying lightning displays. Sprays, huh? Displays that frequently end in mass death. They have a bound chain lightning. They're going to be nasty, especially being completely free on the upkeep. We have a summoning stance, which gives us the Fires of Chaos, giving us more research rate, but using souls. Huh. That seems pretty cool. 10% more research? I'm not going to start spending souls freely for now. I wouldn't mind doing some raiding before we reach the Valerie. Gain a lot of experience. Income from all buildings plus 5% in Cathay? Excuse me? All regions faction? Why? I'm confused. Alright, well, we'll just go ahead and march on over. I kind of want to jump into march stance to lure them into a battle, but let's be a bit smart. Swing into their territory fully here. One of the most obnoxious things about fighting Chaos is now there's a different warband recruitment section for this area, and there's even more hounds. So let's grab just a unit of these hounds. We've got some more fast movers, and then that'll be all that we need for there. Probably another good idea to grab another Lord very soon. We've already got Kholek here as the main bad buns. Let's grab, I think, either a Metal Lord or one of Shadows. Shadows for Pit of Shades and Metal for pretty much all of the metal spells. Pretty much sold it for me. Alright, once again, we in the turn, but let's swing into our gifts here, see if we can grab anything else that's nice. Melee attack is not all that nice. Theories are pretty good at getting over the walls. We may slot that one in as we get closer to any extra dangerous missile armies. For now, we are dealing with ogres.
Only what I listen to is me. Good.
And the turn is once again ours. Chant is leveled on up. We are the elite. Physical resistance, 1% for all units. Rank 7 and above. Destruction. Income from raising settlements. Cool. I don't think we want either of those just yet. We'll go for an increase to our fireball so we can start our magical capabilities going on down the upgrade line. Take a quick look. Ooh, see, I'm very tempted in these Hounds of Decay. That's a pretty fun unit. Let's grab one more Marauder, though, instead. Just to be a anvil. And then we'll charge on here and deal with the Gold Liquor. Very honest, his last name is. He's a brick, isn't he? Alright, so they've got a Snaggle the Muscle, the Fire Belly, and some Lead Belchers as well. Have they already been sacked, this settlement? It's so unfortunate for you guys. Well, you know what time it is. Ogre Crumpin' time. Oh, I can't wait. Let's start deployment. We're going to grab all of our Chaos Marauders. Shove in front there. There's no real reason to spread them out, but we're going to do it just because we are dramatic. There's probably a better way to do it than that. I am incapable. Kholek up front. Has he actually gotten larger? I guess 5% larger would be kind of hard to measure at the moment. Let's keep it in mind. For now, Marauder goes up to the back of his ankle. This little bit here. Little dew claw. Let's grab a Hounds of Decay and some Warhounds. We'll let them be a strike team together. Hounds of Decay hitting seconds. They're not taking as much damage. I guess they are slower by a long shot anyway, so we can drag them back a bit. One group of flankers. Placed overly tactically. Have all the Dragon Ogres rolling together. All of the regular Ogres running together, or the Trolls, I mean. One day we will have Chaos Ogres. And our Sorcerer. All the monsters together. Hero Lord. Battle. Where are you hiding? Here come the reinforcements. The blue ogre group moving in as well. They definitely gave these guys a much more blue reskin. Chain lightning is already ready to go. They're already clumped up too. Alright. Fire Wizard. Overcast and launch one at Flagog here. I assume the Fire Belly is going to be flame resistant. We're going to completely ignore their Tyrant then. These guys forward. That flank. Readily cut off. You guys get up the hill there. How far can we cast this thing out? Pretty decent clip. We'll wait a bit though. Herald charges on in. You can't hide. We can almost drop it down right here would be best. They're going nowhere. Giant hammers crashing down. Electricity is ripping through them. Haste is all that would be left if you hit a group of Noblars with a hammer that size. I mean, there might not even be paste. Oh, man. Overkill. There's nothing else but overkill. As a Noblar, what do you hope to do? Unfortunate. Their Firebelly's also having a really bad day. And our Warhounds have actually completely stayed out of the conflict. They weren't needed. We got some Noblar Trappers, and actually the garbage trucks have arrived. Let's take a pause for a moment. I will catch you on a moment. Of course. And we're back. Perfect timing from the trash people. We will swing back in. Most of the enemy is already broken. Kholek is actually taking a bit of a beating from his opponents here. Throw some more fireballs at these ogre bulls. Trappers have dropped down at their balance spell there, just doing some damage to everyone around them as they quickly break. I think that ability is going to keep going for an entire duration, regardless, though. Got some extra backup. They're going to charge in and take a whole bunch of that charge in. So let's bring these normal hounds away from these ogres. You just being chased down just fine. We'll dodge the fireball there, kind of. Partially. Finish off these trappers. Lead belchers are gone. And that's the rest of the army. We got a bit more casualties to our warhounds than we probably should have, but scaredy cats. Victory is ours. And another crushing defeat for our opponents. Summoners of Rage getting 280 kills. That chain lightning ripped through the Noblars like they were made of butter. 44 lost on our side, 155 souls gained. We can subjugate these rascals. Gift that to the vassal. Or we can go ahead and just stack it for some extra experience. I think this is the last settlement they have. We'll go ahead and subjugate these ogres here. We'll let them survive. But we need to move quick, otherwise they will start conquering other settlements here. And we need to beat up more lads, gain more vassals, and grow our Kholek. Gain enough points for, or experience for another level, sadly.
Tempest incarnate.
Let's swing on in then and grab... I don't want to get rid of all of my normal warhounds. I just have only the Hounds of Decay. Just to reduce our overall upkeep. These guys cost 82 a turn. And we'll leave them in for now. Grab more Hounds of Decay, and then we'll swing on over to the Challenge Stone here and grab a new Lord. Oh, we don't have enough, just barely.
Be gone, else you
Steal any money out of our nearby friends. Looks like the orcs are real spooked. We could make a deal with them, take the gold, and then break the pact. We'll break this pact later on, and if the Dolgan fights them, I'll happily break the pact. There's a lot of Tusked Sons over here. We can first come over and claim the Fortress of Eyes, though.
Herald of the Tempest.
Make sure we have a defended home front. We'll recruit in the Sorcerer Lord of Metal. Get the Third Eye of Thinch or Burning Body. This gives us more Thinch authority, and Path to Glory minus 25% souls cost to devote to Thinch. Anyone else have anything nice there? Armor. The Battle Banner, which I don't know what that does, but it does sound awesome. Idiot's Visage drops control by 10. Scaled Skin seems pretty good. So old Ludred. I think we'll go for Iber Death Metal here, though, because, of course we will.
You dare. Very well,
I do. You're going to hang out for now. Warband recruitment seems to have improved vastly since before. As soon as we do have more ogres here, we need to send Kholek back and claim them. Awesome. Well, in that case, that's one more turn. The Flesh Greeters have begun outpost construction. Fair enough, they beat the Dolgan to it. I don't know if we're actually fine with that, because these guys all have monstrous infantry, and we gain all of our bonuses and negations to missile damage on our monstrous infantry. Got some weirdness going on with fog effects there. I'm gonna have to figure out in between the next episodes here how to solve that. Let's get Kholek moving.
unstoppable.
Maybe just recruit him a couple more soldiers here. Hounds of Decay it is. If I must.
Onward to destruction.
We will happily trespass on the enemy there. We've got but 4 more turns before the Chaos Fort can be built. In that case, Iber Death Metal, let's give you just some normal Marauders, or we can grab some Horsemen. He's got spells. Horsemen could whittle fools down. They just cost a bit more. Grab normal Marauders.
Now they will set.
Death Metal will go ahead and bring you out.
Go now.
Summoning stance would be interesting. Let's go into channeling though.
Yes, yes.
Because if you do level up in channeling, see if you have the same kind of boons going. End your turn with over 80 wins of magic reserves. We'll get there. Give us the Penundral Pendulum. Win a battle against Nurgle and a battle against Dinch. Alright. We shall do what we can. Do we have access to any heroes? An Exalted Hero. Do we have the ability to actually train one? That's the question. Not yet. Okay, well in that case, we swing on into Diplomacy real fast.
The dragon.
I think we won't be doing much of this as Chaos. See if we have any ally missions. Not yet. No missions for either. In that case, one more turn. Grimcore's Ard Boys has already confederated the Tusked Sons. Well, our deal with them is now null and void already. And the Ard Boys are going to be coming after us quickly. So Death Metal, let's have you quickly recruit up some more. Just some more Marauders, and then some of these Javelin Men. Got a couple more turns before we are able to build the Chaos Fort still, so we'll have Kholek. Keep moving. May go ahead and throw you into March. We've been having to move quite a ways across the Fortress of Eyes here. Keep going. Throw him into march stance just to get a bit of risk going.
Forward unto slaughter.
Make sure we can actually reach the Fortress of Eyes. Sounds good, Mother Lord. We're going to keep him where he is. And we'll go ahead and end the turn again. Alright, the turn is to ours, and the path to glory has been unlocked. The attuned to Uglu, so he has Ulgu. He has sat there with just enough winds of magic above reserves and into the turn. One thing I forgot to mention was the actual authority on our lords and heroes and such. So each of them is going to have a certain authority and a negative usually associated with them, both a positive and a negative. For Kholek, he has mostly undivided authority, and the different authorities are going to give you different buffs or debuffs depending on your positive or negative stance in it. So 3 to the positive and undivided gives us 9% more recruitment cost, 3% more replenishment rate for undivided units, 6% less upkeep, and warband upgrade cost for all of those undivided units as well. You can kind of see the breakdown of what it would be per, as we have 3 currently. 9% would be 3% per point there, and then 1% for the other, and then 2 for the last 2. We have -1 to Khorne, because anytime you have any kind of mage whatsoever, as that mage gets more attuned to his abilities, you lose more and more to your ornate authority. We'll grab Kholek there and charge right on into the Fortress of Eyes. No more good gifted units for us. We don't really need any other way. We'll declare war right away. Before we do, though, anyone else at war with them?
I shall not stoop.
Kazagar.
Blind hatred.
Can we speak to the Kazag about it?
You think you'll reach demonhood before me? Best pray to our masters that apotheosis happens soon.
Dude, your horns are like half the size of Kholek. Don't even speak to me. We'll offer to join your war against the Imperial Wardens, though. And I will take some gold from you. We'll be there to vassalize you soon enough. Don't you worry. Imperium Power. Imperium Power is the indicator of your faction's expansion. Faction owns a very few settlements. 1 to 5, there is very little maintenance. When your faction owns over 5, they are slowly increasing benefits and penalties of control every 25 settlements. Interesting. Keep an eye on that one.
The mountains call.
In that case, the fortress must fall. We'll gallop on over. And we will happily smash some unfortunate peasants. This is going to be a fortress settlement? Oh, really not. And we can funnel them between this rock here. Oh, happy day. Let's let the battle begin. We've got a whole bunch of magic to work with here, and they're kind of all set up in the corner. That's not going to work out for you nearly as well as you think it will. Grab these two and roll them with some Chaos Hounds. 4 Hounds up front, allow them to get shot up before the Hounds of Decay do. Switching our strategy up with them quite proficiently here, quite soundly. That kind of thing going on over here. For the warriors, keep them more of a line than normal. You guys as a strike team, ogres up front, trolls up front rather. Attack. This group over here.
Very well.
And then you guys can be on the other crew here. Like so.
I am awake.
Forward hero. Wait. Everyone should tremble. Move them up. Have you just start launching a fireball at this Sky Lantern. These peasant horsemen wish to die, we will happily oblige. Gallop in wearing their green, it's not going to go well for them at all. Immediately crumped. Guess they tried their very best. Grab this other group here and bring them around. Or just have them charge after these other peasant horsemen.
Loony fools!
You go give the Lord Magistrate a hug. Slam on it on the side here. If we can drop the Chain Lightning in on this group, that'd be just the swellest. Pull on away, let the Chain Lightning drop. Yes, shoot your puny arrows at Kholek. See if he cares. Actually, see if we can hit this group in on these peasant archers here. For our Marauders, group them up, send them in a single line there. As long as they're locked in a group, they will charge as one. Come on back in. Summoner's Rage should be dropping the Chain Lightning very soon. There it goes. They've got through his line just fine. Perfect. Back another Fireball. And a Pendulum, why not? So do the Fireball first, then. Keep moving. You guys can go ahead and surround this group of spears. As long as they have made contact with one of the groups of archers, they will stop firing. Chain Lightning has ripped them asunder. Now we can send in the armor-piercing units. There we go. Marauders have arrived, and so fighting can really start. Battering them aside. They're big, they're dumb, they're angry. Jade Warriors are learning what crushed armor plate feels like. It's not a good one. We're getting a double Fireball. Double tapping the enemy in their blimp there. Very lucky the blimp didn't explode on contact. So I left a bunch of the lads in the back. We'll drop down the Pendulum, although it's a bit too late. See if we can get it not kill any of our own. Sliced right through that two groups of archers there. These guys were far too enveloped in our own. Up and down. Let's bring you just over here so we can use your Fireball again. We do have to deal... Oh, it's already shattered. You guys didn't do a very good job of holding this fort. More for me. There is nothing but victory. We lost 29 of our Dark Slaves to that fight. We gained 55 souls, which is a bit interesting, seeing as we killed so many. Fair enough, I guess. We could gift this to our vassal, which would be foolish. This is another Dark Fortress. This belongs to Kholek.
Our spirits still belong to the...
There are many monsters in the Northern Wastes. Creatures that will eat a man no matter which god he worships. Tribe's Beast Tamer can bring such monsters to heal. He has the talent. Otherwise, he becomes half the man he used to be. More casualty replenishment for Warhounds, and more recruit rank for War Beasts. We have secured ourselves yet another province. Beautiful. I believe for our Fortress of Eyes, we shall... Corruption is not great in this settlement here. Let's go ahead and drop the Foster Colts ability in. To get that working on towards as high as we can. Kholek gained himself a singular point there. I'm tempted to give himself the Storm ability, but we'll wait on that one. More experience gained for all units when fighting against Forces of Order. Probably a good idea once we find more Forces of Order. For now, we'll gain the Infernal Champion. 751 weapon strength.
Give me lightning!
We shall indeed. Flaming Sword of Rune. We could add this to Kholek, buffing him even further through the roof. Who said we're not mean?
Good.
You're listening. That's actually wonderful to hear. We can go ahead and drop down the fire clearing here, giving us some Ungor Raiders and just some archers. I think instead we'll just do the raid trophies here in this one too. Got the raid trophies then. We will switch that out for the growth building. 20 growth and more replenishment rate. The corpse mound. Block is doing his thing. Ooh, that's an obnoxious bit of glitch we got going on there.
I foresee destruction.
Death metal will give you one more unit of cheap and cheerful. there anything else we could kind of give you, or both of the others, for battling different units there? Oh, he doesn't actually have the attuned to Ulgu. That was our other. He should get it this next turn then. Alright, we've got 900. It says he's not been moved. That'd be true. Let's bring him over here to the challenge stone. And then we will once again end our turn.
You summon me, little boy.
Was it War Grimgor?
I will feast on your son.
Feast on your son. Gort says it's time to have some mates. Is it though? You're not fighting with anyone. I find that to be incredibly suspicious. Are you willing to offer me money? That's not enough. No peace for Grimgor. Perfect. And now Mr. Death Metal has been attuned to Uglu, so he now himself has, I'm going to continue to butcher that every single time, he himself now has access to the free Penumbral Pendulum. Let the games begin. Good. Distract your people with brutish games. Crowds flock to the fighting pits and arenas to revel in the violence and forget their woes for a time. We've got happy populace. Fantastic.
I am mountain god.
We'll also go ahead and buy the raid trophy building, and with that, that is all the time I've got for today. I have been Space Wizard Total War. Remember to leave a like for the light god and a sub for the sub throne, and I will see you on the next one.